Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers on this channel by the end of the playoffs, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Also drop a like, it only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference. I have a big sore in my mouth, so if it makes me talk kind of weird, I apologize for that if you end up noticing it. But today's video is about some dumb shit that I saw on Twitter, which is half of the crap that I talk about on this channel that isn't post-game recaps. It's basically just what dumb shit did I see on Twitter today. Well, technically, this quote that sparked this whole conversation isn't from Twitter. It's just a quote from Tyronn Lue, who is one of the best coaches in the NBA. Probably, if I had to make a ranking, probably I would say the second best coach in the NBA, and a really smart basketball mind. But he said something dumb, in my opinion, and it's really just reflective of an overall conversation around free throws and whatnot that bothers me. So he says, Embiid is #1 in the league at the free throw line, and James is #3. You take away those free throws, neither one of those guys would be top 10 in scoring. Well, first of all, I don't even know that James Harden is top 10 in scoring, and if he is, he's at like 10 because he only averages like 22. And also, I'm not sure what his metric for this ranking is. Maybe it's free throws made, not free throws attempted, because they're really high in percentage. But I wanted to talk about this because I think this argument is very, very stupid. Because at the end of the day, free throws, whether you like it or not, are a part of the game. And this is where a majority of the problem comes, is people are picking and choosing what is legitimate to basketball based on what they enjoy, and that's bullshit. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, foul baiting pisses me off, okay? And I'm doing a video sometime this week about the biggest disappointments of the season, and the fact that the NBA basically completely pussed out of their foul baiting rules. That is the one of the biggest disappointments, if not the biggest, of the entire year, because when the season started off, it was really cool. Now, there was an overcorrection, and like James Harden was actively getting fouled and they wouldn't call it just because he was the face of foul baiting. But overall, I thought it was a good change. That said, people treat guys like James Harden and Joel Embiid, who do foul bait on occasion, as though every single fucking free throw attempt they get is a bullshit foul. When in reality, they get fouled all the time legitimately because they put themselves in the position to get fouled all the time legitimately, especially Joel Embiid. I understand that they do the foul baiting thing, and it's annoying. When I see it happen, it pisses me off. But it's a fraction of their free throw attempts. If I was going to be generous to the anti-Harden or Embiid free throw crowd, I'd say 20% of their free throw attempts are off of bullshit foul baiting. And that's a high percentage to me. I'd probably say it's more like 15, but again, I'm being generous here. That's marginal. And it's really, like, that's 2 free throw attempts per game or something like that. Really not worth fighting to the death over. And for this constant discourse of if you remove the free throws, this is what they average. Well, you can't. So this is a dumb, almost what-if type argument. And the thing is, I saw other people arguing about efficiency from free throws, especially the true shooting percentage metric. And someone put in like 2 points on 2 for 2 free throws, and that gave them like a 100% true shooting percentage. The thing is, or it was like 110. But the thing is, if you score all of your points, if you make all of your shots, you get over 100% true shooting percentage, whether it's free throws or field goals. So that's one thing. Second, such a small fucking sample. The point was, because this gives you such a high number with the free throws, that means that the stat and its efficiency metric is invalid, and it overly favors free throws. But no, field goals, it does the same thing. And on a large scale volume, you don't see that. So, no, it's not how it works. Like, it's not like people are only shooting free throws. A true shooting percentage metric is fair when taken into account that they also shoot the ball regularly and they don't shoot 100% from the line because nobody does. It was a stupid fucking tweet. And the discourse around this shit is really just, it makes me go kind of crazy because it's specifically picking and choosing what players people like. It's especially in the case of James Harden. And I tweeted out about this, like, and unfairly so. It was like, I will never forgive James Harden for what he has done to discourse around free throws in the NBA. And really, it's not his fault. It is the fault of his detractors that this conversation has become what it is. But seriously, James Harden, because of the way that he changed fouls and the way that he took fouls from something that happens to something that you're actively looking for, as soon as he made that swap, instantly that became a part of the discourse, and it's not really fair, especially because he's not the first player who has averaged like 13 free throw attempts per game. Kobe, and I believe the year was 2006, did this. Michael Jordan, and I'm pretty sure it was 1987 when he averaged 36 points per game. He did this. Wilt Chamberlain had a season where he had crazy high free throws. And if we want to use this game for a current day standard, Giannis averages a shit ton of free throws, and he just shoots worse on them, so no one gives a fuck. No one really makes an anti-Giannis argument because of free throws, because he shoots 70% from the line. But because James Harden and Joel Embiid are good foul shooters, they get punished for it. Now, again, I understand a lot of the criticism comes from the foul baiting. The difference, you want to argue there's a difference between those free throws in terms of which ones are legitimate or not? Again, the percentage is marginal, and you're overblowing it, but still, I understand that's the case. But until the rules are adequately changed to where that isn't a part of the game anymore, whether you like it or not, it is a part of the game. And you cannot remove free throws from the equation, just like you can't remove three-pointers or assists or rebounds. It's a legitimate stat according to how the game works, whether you like it or not. And that is the end of it. And to see all of these takes surrounded around these players, it's like very frustrating. And it's like you think you can just pick and choose what matters. You can't. Basketball is basketball, and the parts that you don't like come along just with the parts that you do like. And to suggest like Jokic is a better basketball player because he doesn't go to the free throw line as much, that's stupid. It's just dumb. It's just a different play style, a different way of being. Jokic actually should get to the free throw line more, first of all. But Joel Embiid is one of the most physical players in the league. Giannis gets to the free throw line for the same reason. He is constantly barreling himself to the basket. James Harden, for the same reason, constantly barreling himself to the basket, and he knows how to get fouled on jump shots better than anybody that I've ever seen. So you can't really knock those guys for that. Like Giannis, and especially Joel Embiid, averages like 8 free throw attempts in any context. He just kind of bullshits 2 or 3 a game. And I don't think that that's the end of the world like so many people do. So that's my thoughts on this shit that's been going around on Twitter. If you haven't been on Twitter, you probably haven't seen it. But it's very annoying, and I hate it. And that's my thoughts on almost all of basketball discourse. So I don't know why I do this for a living. But that is it. Goodbye.